ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the BRÜTAL REVUE, or whoever's listening to this. This is episode 1, hopefully of many more to come. Kev, why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
All right, so I have been almost a lifelong metalhead. You know, it all started from a young age, listening to, like, the OGs, Linkin Park. I'm sure they got so much of our generation into it. I know they're not really like a normal metal band, but they definitely had the influences that launched a lot of us into the stratosphere of metal. You know, as I got into like 7th, 8th grade, Lamb of God, Slipknot, Children of Bodom, I started to get really into that kind of stuff, and it just launched me into this forever love of metal. I listen to everything across all the genres. You know, I love my black metal, my death metal, my folk metal. I even listen to a lot of the metalcore, scenecore, you know, post-hardcore. I dabble in all of it. It's the greatest genre out there.
I love it. And I love how unabashedly you're into it. It's so good. And this is why you're my metal broker. Kev and I, myself, Fancy Dan, as you know, from, you know, Whiskey Tribe and various places. Yeah, we've been friends for like 13,
14 years, something like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, both transplants to a weird town in South Texas. And yeah, we just kind of clicked because you're sick and badass, right, and I like mooching your metal recommendations as well as other things.
I do what I can.
You know, it was a symbiotic relationship, I like to think. Yeah. Yeah. But that said, I'm more pedestrian whenever it comes to this whole genre. There are, in my mind, two genders, okay? There's 80s, thrash, speed, hair, that kind of stuff. And we're going to talk about dragons and swords and things, right?
Excellent.
And that's the dividing line between, yeah. So, yeah, I've got a lot to learn. I like learning new stuff. It's just I'm not as up to date on it. That said, this is a podcast where we're just going to be, you know, super about whatever stuff's coming out. So, with that said, this is the week of, what is it, the 9th today? Yeah. Coming up on the 12th, which is that Friday. What do we got coming out that you know of that you're excited about? Anything good?
So,
because I already know what's up on me.
Yeah, I mean, this week the new Abiotic drops, and that is what I am stoked for. They're back from the dead. You know, Abiotic broke up in like 2017, and they maybe even 2016. It was a few years ago. And Travis and John and Matt resurrected it with a new bassist and drummer, and they have brought some absolute tech death heat for us. Nice. A couple singles have dropped already. I have the album pre-ordered. I am stoked as
so you're
a longtime Abiotic fan.
Okay,
but yeah,
did you get it on vinyl or like digital?
Oh yeah, boy,
or what?
got that vinyl. You know the
you're about
the seppuku variant, as it's called.
Ooh, look at you,
cutting
out the guts and everything, man.
Yeah.
The 17th, the thing that I'm stoked about is Andrew WK's new first album under Napalm.
Yes,
yeah, it's called Babylon, and it's intentionally misspelled
because of course it is.
Of course it is.
Got to party hard, dude.
I've been a longtime Andrew WK fan. Unironically, like, you know, there's a lot of people that know his party stuff, but unironically, he's just a good musician.
Oh, yeah.
And now that he's under Napalm, which has a penchant for ridiculousness, I'm interested to see what has been happening.
Yep.
It's like a mad science experiment.
There's got to be some good videos coming for sure, because Napalm is never short on amazing videos.
I'm waiting for the inevitable Ailstorm Andrew WK crossover. You know it's going to happen.
Oh my god, that'll be glorious.
It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe of party rock, right?
Absolutely.
So, that said, what were you listening to this last weekend? You sent me some pretty good stuff, man.
We had some very good bangers this week. A couple of them, actually. Most of this list I had not ever heard of until Friday.
Interesting.
You know, I always try to just see every Friday, you know, what's dropped this week. And I try to just look up every band, you know, just look through the names, look through the albums, genre types, see what catches my fancy. And, you know, obviously there was the one big one that I think we both know and love already, the crazy folk metal masters, Korpiklani. They dropped their new album. I'm going to butcher this name, but I believe it's Jilha. and it's a very good album. Definitely more serious than they have been in a while, I think so.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I heard Corporate Kalani because they're famous for, like, you know, Jägermeister and vodka and like all of these songs that are sung in English with weird accent about things. Vodka. Yeah, but this seems like it's telling a story with a little bit more progression to it, you know?
I was doing some background on it, and like they definitely tried to bring in some more folklore themes and some like real more serious topics that are not so much just folklore but actual, you know, legends from the area. And one of the more interesting crossovers that I think, especially considering a lot of the recent news, they actually mentioned the Lake Bodom murders in some of the parts of this album, which is interesting because, as a lot of us know, that's where the band Children of Bodom got their name from, because it was like a, you know, Friday the 13th type thing where some kids were hanging around a lake and they all mysteriously disappeared and bodies were found, and those are known as the infamous Lake Bodom murders, aka the Children of Bodom. So I think it's kind of cool that there's that crossover where more than one popular metal band is getting in on that topic.
Right, and I do not recall where Corporate Kalani is from, but is Bodom Lake in Eastern Europe?
So
Poland?
Lake Bodom is from Finland, hence Children of Bodom pulling from that, and Corporate Kalani are also Finnish.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Why did I think they were Polish?
I mean, it just, you know, it's on that theme. They all like to party. They all like their vodka. So, I mean, you never know.
I guess it's the vodka.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even the vodka. It's it's Eastern Europe whenever it's the vodka, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, that was really good, man.
Yeah.
Very serious, very, even like a subtle shift in style. I noticed they were a little bit more, I don't want to say thrash, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It was less of the kind of like over the top Ailstorm party type style, and I think it was kind of getting more along the lines of like your Ensiferum as like an example. It was definitely of a more straightforward folk band.
Either way, good album, and also really good music videos for this one too. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't yet.
Yeah, it's nice. Dude on cover equals dude in video, and it's good.
Excellent.
That's the criteria for good music video.
Yeah, you should tell a bit of your background here, you know, especially on this conversation of
well,
video.
I mean, hell, I didn't want to like, you know, do that thing, but the beginning of my video media career was starting a very small media company right out of college called Party Hat Productions, and we did low budget music videos for people in Austin, Texas. In which, you know, we would basically guerrilla crew everything. And we had some good ones, we had some bad ones, but the thing about musicians in Austin is that they want really good stuff and they're all on a shoestring budget. And so it was kind of unsustainable, but it led to some good things. Yeah. So I got really into music videos and the production of them and just watching them. That's like a huge part of the experience for me. So that is, I don't know, you've come over and we've spent like hours and hours just watching the bullshit.
Yeah, because that was one thing I was going to say for sure, is that I've definitely felt with like you and your roommate, music videos are almost as important of a criteria in liking a band as much as their music itself is.
It definitely helps. Like, I've always looked at it like a 3-minute commercial, you know? You know, if there's a hook, if there's a gimmick in the music video, like, I mean... what's a good example? Glory Hammer?
Yes.
You know, they have some good ones. Just if you have good music videos, it's a way to rope in more people into listening to your stuff, right? That said, I'm going to throw out something that I've been really into and I'll kind of turn you on to. Out of a random coincidence on Spotify, I found this band called Incursed. And they are sick. And they had a new album release this past week, and I don't think that's correct, but they're Spanish of all things. I didn't realize
really?
this.
I didn't.
Yeah, hang on.
Interesting.
What is their new album called? Incursed. Give me a second. Geography.
It's yeah, you're right. They're from Bilbao, and the new album is Baskavigen.
Yeah, their official website is not even up to date yet. Holy shit. Okay, Basca Vegan.
Yeah.
Let's hope that we're pronouncing that correct. But I love them because they're not serious, but they also have some good tunes.
Yeah.
Like, like Who Stole My Beer is a masterpiece.
Excellent. Just amazing song title to begin with. Just really hooks you in.
Yeah, no, and I'm impressed that I was able to present something to you that you were into.
Yeah, no, it took me by total surprise because, the album art, as you guys may see, is just wild on its own right. And just seeing that art, I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely have to give this a listen. And it started off with just like what you would kind of expect with like a folky power type album. And then when those riffs just started kicking in, like it was in the car in the morning. I was just on a drive out. I was still kind of tired, just kind of like laggy. And those riffs came pounding in, and I was just instantly like, yeah, like, and I just felt so energized out of nowhere. Like it was just like, yes. So.
Yeah, definitely check out Incursed. They are not well known from what I understand, but this album was kick-ass.
Yeah, that title track and Who Stole My Beer following it up. Amazing.
You also need to listen to Beer Bloodbath. They have a regular version and a drunk version. So
I love a drunk version. That's how you know they're ready to party.
Yeah, the screamer just they can't do it. Like, let's put it that way. So yeah, the third thing on our list here, I was listening to Tale of the Endless right before we started recording this, and it's pretty damn good, dude.
So the band is, I think it's Mastidium. They released a new EP, as he referenced, called Tales of the Endless. And where this really stuck out to me and it hit home, I'm a massive melodic death metal fan. I would say it's probably my absolute favorite subgenre of metal. And Insomnium are one of my favorites. Great Finnish band, really known for doing like this melancholic melodic style of death metal. Excellent band. And this felt so much in that same vein, continuing that kind of like melancholic feel while still bringing like heavy riffs to it and just kind of building an atmosphere. How do you feel?
So the first thing that hit me was whenever I was watching it on YouTube, they had the entire EP released for free, and they had like this kind of Skyrim snowy sort of loop playing, right? Which really helped me get into it, right? It's very atmospheric. That's the word that I'm going to use. Is it feels like a soundtrack to something, right? Setting in the mountains with a lot of like cold steel being slung around. It's cool, man. What I heard is sick.
Yeah. I think with them being a like Finnish band, I know one thing that a lot of people from Finland have mentioned before is, you get to those winter months and it's just kind of like, it's almost just never ending darkness. It's a lot of days you're just like trapped inside, just hiding out from the snow and the elements. And I think that really kind of draws into that feeling where it's just kind of like that melancholia. You're just kind of sitting there days on days end, kind of in a bleak and dreary setting. And I feel like these bands are really trying to like pull that feeling into the music itself.
Yeah, but also on the flip side, you get 6 months of summer where the sun doesn't go down. And people are, doing things at 2 a.m. Like, no problem.
Exactly.
Right? So,
keep it rolling.
Yeah. So I will be honest. I tried to listen to the ruins of
The Ruins of Beverest.
Beverest,
Yes.
And you've never heard these guys before.
This was another band. These last Mastidium and the Ruins of Beverest were bands that I had not heard of until this past Friday. And what caught my attention immediately was that on the place that I saw their name, it listed it as black/doom metal. And I was like, all right. And with the name of The Ruins of Beverest with their new album, The Thule Grimoires.
The Thule Grimoires.
I was like, all right, this is worth a listen. And
I will say, I tried to start the album on my jog today.
Yeah.
And it is the complete opposite of what you want to listen to whenever you're trying to go anywhere fast. Anywhere fast. It is very like... chug. It's very like slow. It's very again atmospheric, but like in a, I don't know. Would you consider? And this is a weird comparison, but it reminded me of Sleep. I know that's a little bit more stoner.
I can see a bit of it just with like the droning buildup, because like especially when you get into like Dope Smoker, Sleep had a lot of like buildup and drones, and so like some of the more doomy sides of this album, I can definitely see where that comparison somewhat came in. The thing to me that I really felt, so like just as a background to the album for you guys, it definitely it's really interesting because it definitely has that black metal influence, but the album seems to switch back and forth a lot between being a like traditional black metal album and a more doom metal album. And so where I think you were getting the Sleep comparison, I was feeling a very heavy Typo Negative influence.
Oh yeah, okay, I could see that. Yeah.
And so,
slow, taking your time.
Yeah, especially with the like keys in the background, some of the styling of the riffs, the clean vocals that would come in. There were those sections that were definitely, to me, like modeled after like Peter Steele and Typo Negative.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not bad. Yeah. It's just I was listening to it under the wrong circumstances.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Take a sip with a glass of whiskey and just take it all in.
Grow a beard and listen to this. Yeah.
Exquisite.
Yeah, man. So I haven't even heard this last one though. So is it Colossus?
Yeah. So this is one that I threw in for the definite most brutal album of the week. Gotta get something nice and heavy in there. So this was a tech death band that I just found out about this past Friday too, called Colossus, with the new album Degenesis. And this one was, to me, it was very much in that kind of like brain drill origin tech death kind of camp, where it's just like incessant over the top noodling for the sake of noodling with blast beats. And I'm definitely a sucker for that. I don't always want to hear that, but there's some times where you just want to hear people just go as crazy as possible on their instruments, and it almost doesn't even follow a real song structure. It's just like stupid.
Yeah, sure.
It's fantastic. So it was.
It's like death jazz.
Exactly. So it was definitely just that brutal, heavy, just over the top, your blast beats, your crazy guitar riffs, just, really fill that like brutal void that you need every now and then.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely check out Colossus. I mean, you threw it into the talking points at the last minute. You caught me by surprise. I was trying to be prepared.
What can I say?
How dare you do this to me?
I'll do fast one on you.
So that's it for this week, guys. I think, if we have any news, upcoming stuff, we'll definitely hit it up next week. But yeah, we're going to be doing this weekly, probably releasing Thursday, Fridays sometime. I don't know. We're new to this whole thing. So whenever we release it, you can hear it on Spotify, YouTube, anywhere that you get your podcasts. Any final words, prayer requests, Kev?
Stay heavy.
Stay heavy. Unless you're too heavy, then that's a problem. Yeah. Also, one last thing. We got bonus episodes in the Patreon. We got more other content that we'll just be shooting and bullshitting around. So if you like our voices, pay us money, and you can listen to more of it.
We'll love you forever.
We'll love you forever. That's also true. Guys, I'm Fancy Dan. This is Kev. This has been the Brutal Review. We'll see you next week. Yeah.